Hello and welcome back to the Nordic Championship. My name is Jake Kitprey Matthews. I'm joined by Dan Ox Harrison once again. I'll be coming in with game 3 of the day, which is going to be Atlando versus Vipers. How are you feeling about this one, Dan?
I think we've seen Nordic, we've seen Singularity, both those teams, definitely formidable players. I think for me, Vipers and Atlando definitely on the lower end of where I'd rank teams.
Yeah.
But I think this could definitely be a story of them going up against each other, defining who is the stronger roster. Because at the moment, yes, we've seen, Nordic not exactly in a clean fashion and Singularity come out ahead. That was kind of expected. I think here's where things get a little bit more hard to predict. I do think that I would say maybe Atlando I would favor slightly ahead, but I think it's going to be a pretty close one. I think it's going to come down a lot down to the draft and how these teams coordinate around that.
Well, we'll have to be seeing when we get into the draft because I'm quite excited. Once again, I mean, it's always sets you up for so many talking points here. You know, you look at the draft, you go, okay, this is what we expect to see. But let's talk about some of the players here. So on the side of Atlando, who are you looking at? Who's your star player for this team?
I think it's pretty tough to say. I think overall, mid lane. I think Jacob in the mid lane.
Yeah.
I think for him, he's not very well known, but he's in history gone toe to toe with a lot of the stronger mids. I think recently he's sort of said, I have this conviction, I want to play in competitive. Prior to that, he wasn't as set on that. And I think that if he's given the right opportunity, he could really shine. Now, up against Paulson on the opposite side, I think this is a matchup where both of them could sort of define themselves and sort of dictate who's going to be the next sort of big star. I think both of these mid laners definitely have something more they can show. Is whether they'll be able to show that in this particular game. I think on paper, Paulson should come out ahead, but I think Jacob definitely can throw a spanner in the works with regards to that.
Well, we'll have to see. Kind of lost for words, really. I don't know why. I've had a brain fart. What's your perfect Sunday? You never told me.
Now is not the perfect Sunday time, right? We'll wait and see for the perfect Sunday. Then I'll tell you. Okay?
When it happens.
For now,
it's a when it happens kind of thing.
So obviously, for those who don't know, me and Jake or Hipbrain, we have casted the UK scene.
Yep.
For quite some time, and we have two friends joining us, which is Hidden and Denvoxney, who played last split in the UK scene on Demise. We saw Denvoxney bring out the first competitive Garen Yumi.
Yes, he was actually the first ever.
And we saw Hidden have Nunu banned against him.
Every game.
Almost every game.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then he won the game. It was left open. So
I expect to see that banned.
Yeah, I expect him to lean towards a Jarvan because that is another big pick for him if it's available and it's strong in the current meta. Denvoxney has been very set on playing Senna, similar to Chrisberg. Question is, are we going to see that banned away? I expect to, but if it's not, he will certainly take it.
And if we look at what Denvoxney and Hidden were able to do back when they were over in the UKLC last season, they actually had a really strong show and they joined on a new org to the region and they made top 4. They had a really, really good showing. In the regular season, they made top 4, but I think in the gauntlet, they fell a little bit short. I'm really, my brain's frazzled. After that last game, my brain is kind of frazzled.
Either way, they definitely exceed expectations for their roster. I think that's what they're looking to do here as well. I think one of the unfortunate things for me with Vipers is that a big factor with them was they had Kalera formerly on the roster, and they were then a full Danish squad. So when they'd communicate in game, it would be in Danish. As Kalera has left and he's actually gone to Demise, which was Hidden and Voxney's old team, they picked up Bebop Bully, who is Swedish. Yeah. So it means that they have to choose. Obviously, if they're communicating with him, it won't be in Danish. And it does also mean they've lost their primary shot caller. So it's caused there to be a little bit of a reshuffling in the roster in terms of who's taking responsibility for making those calls. And I think it has left them a little bit not too coordinated, at least when I saw them play most recently. So we do see the new ban come out straight away.
Pretty standard stuff there,
no surprise.
Really. Let's see what Vipers Inc. want to ban away. They're taking their time, really running that timer down. Again, it's the Akali. We've seen that first ban on the red side, every game of today. And I expect to probably see that in the next game as well, because Akali is pretty strong.
Yeah, rather strong by all means. Seen Elise banned away as well from Hidden. It does leave the Jarvan open, which I think for me is the big pick I'd expect to see him take. So whether they prioritize that heavily, we'll have to see. For me, Julbu, we could see him playing the Lee Sin, the Olaf, Gragas, all big picks for him. So he doesn't really he doesn't really mind banning away these picks specifically from Hidden because it doesn't really affect his primary champion pool. He's comfortable on those. Senna is still being left open. The Gragas has been banned away from Jolbu. There's the Rumble, which we've seen a lot of bans towards because of its flex power.
Funnily enough, we've seen the Rumble ban red side every game until now. They're actually banning it blue side, which shows to me that Atlando don't feel comfortable first picking it or
they have
playing
something they want to first pick.
That could also be an option. Let's see what Vipers decide to ban away as their final ban here.
If they want to keep in the trajectory of junglers, the Lee Sin or the Olaf, definitely potential ones to go for there. They're actually going to go for the Olaf away from Jolbu. So that means in terms of his primary champion pool, Lee Sin's available, but they're going to pick the Senna away. No surprise to deny that from Denvoxney. That means he can lean towards an MF or an Aphelios if he wants to answer. Those are the top 3 AD carries at the moment. Does mean, however, Hidden can get his hands on his Jarvan. And I think that'd be a pretty solid rotation here if you wanted to go like the Jarvan and an AD carry. Or they want to deny the Braum. We've seen Tahm Kench and Braum be the primary supports paired with the Senna. And we saw Braum in the last game, so they're denying that one away. There's no pressure to pick the AD carry right now, as Senna's already off the table and isn't a flex.
You could see Denvoxney kind of slip a little bit down the AD carry ladder and go for something comfortable like the Xayah. So we've seen him play quite a lot as well.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to go down the totem pole more, I think Varus is a pretty solid option.
Yeah.
I would lean towards more, and they are going to pick that up.
You're right.
Varus, Braum is pretty solid combo. I think people were talking about back in the day when it was Xayah Rakan, there was Nautilus Kai'Sa. Varus, Braum was another not as strong but good combo, but in the current meta is actually pretty formidable. So going to pick that one up, and then Thresh coming out. So a little bit different from the Tahm Kench, but still does offer an element of safety towards the Senna because you can obviously Lantern away. And then the Lee Sin, no surprise to come from Jolbu. I expect the Jarvan here for Hidden to come through as the 3rd pick. Although if they wanted to potentially throw away the jungle pick to later, it would get banned pretty heavily against. But they could pick a strong solo lane here and look to counter. And they're going to go for the Ornn, which, I mean, as much as it seems like they're not picking jungler, this is a triple flex.
This is a very, very strong kind of lineup here for the moment. I'm curious to see what the response is going to be from Atlando here. Vipers looking to make their bans come through. There's going to be Aatrox. We've seen the Ornn banned all day.
No Soraka banned.
No Soraka ban, true. So maybe they were waiting for their moment to pick Soraka. How would Soraka do into the Ornn? Obviously,
great.
You don't really have any kill threat on the Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the jungler Viper's in. The Ornn can set up a play onto the Soraka because you can use the Ornn Horn to knock her up, and then say Jarvan, well, not Jarvan anymore because unsurprisingly that's banned. Could CC her, but the thing is, like in trading patterns, an Ornn should never kill a Soraka. It should just never happen. You don't have the damage, and she's going to out heal. Vladimir going to come out as the ban from Andreas, which is something that Andreas plays a lot of. Those are his 2 picks, the Aatrox and the Vladimir. So he is getting pushed off his pool, and both those are fine into the Ornn. It does indicate that Vipers are probably putting the Ornn top lane, although that's not necessarily for sure. It is something he does like to play, though. If he's going weak side, it's generally the GP or the Ornn. So it wouldn't surprise me too much here. I expect to see the jungler come out from Vipers Inc. here in terms of just keeping things open as a flexible pick in terms of the Ornn, and also giving counter pick to their mid laner. You know it's the Lee Sin. Rek'Sai is an option, or Skarner going to come out from Hidden, which is a pick I would attribute more heavily with Hidden. I don't think he's a sort of player to play Rek'Sai. It is a standard counter, but I think Skarner's more his thing. Unfortunately, Thresh is on the other side because obviously we see a lot of tandem between Skarner and Thresh with the coordination. Now going over to Atlando. GP would be fine in the Ornn. Does well in trades. And
offers you good global pressure as well.
Especially into a Varus.
Yeah. You can find that ult onto the Varus, who's already very low mobility. You're then doing a lot of damage to him and slowing him as well. So nice pick up there for the side of Atlando. What are they going to round out for? What do they want to look to go in the mid lane for the question for me? Because Vipers, obviously, they have that counter pick in the mid lane. So LeBlanc is open, which we've been talking about today, is a perfectly safe blind pick, I think, into a mid laner.
Cassiopeia would be a decent pickup here. Zoe actually going to come out. So I thought Cassiopeia would be pretty solid in terms of the sustained damage to deal with things later and also providing another element of protection. Zoe is a bit more aggressive in this situation. So it means that you're looking to potentially find picks. There is a little bit of risk in terms of when you're playing a Zoe into a Skarner, you can just get ulted and dragged away. But it definitely looks like Atlando going for heavy pick-focused play. They have the global ults to coordinate that. They have the Thresh Lee Sin combo. So very pick focused. On the other side, we see the Aurelia come in. So again, this is still technically a flex. You can play the Aurelia into the Gangplank. It's a decent matchup. But I expect it likely to be the Ornn going top lane and then the Aurelia into the Zoe, which it can make things difficult because if the Zoe ends up getting caught by a stun, the all-in pressure is there in the 1v1.
Yeah.
But in terms of just general laning, the Zoe can put a lot of pressure down on the Aurelia.
Well, we'll have to see how this kind of plays out. We look at that jungle support ability to apply pressure to these lanes. What we've been kind of hitting on all day is the power of jungle and support. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, especially in this game. You've got a Fresh to set up those hooks, especially with Lee Sin. That's a very aggressive jungle support. You look on the other side, Vipers, they've got the Braum, they've got the Skarner. It's a lot more CC they're bringing, more than damage, but we'll have to see how this is going to play out here.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of potent mid-game skirmishing coming out from Vipers, especially once the Ornn items start to kick in. They're going to have a lot of power. The AD carry is going to be in a strong position. They're going to have this beefy front line that is just so hard to cut through and a lot of CC going for them. I think in the later stages, I don't think by any means Atlando come out ahead. I think Atlando are going to find it very difficult if it goes late game because of this very coordinated front-to-back team fight that's possible to be done by Vipers. But I think the thing is, as they get later, Senna can become an absolute monster. And they're going to have to deal with a side lane threat off the Gangplank. They're going to have to deal with the global pressure coming out from the Gangplank ult to set up plays. I think it's very much, though, going to come down to can this mid-jungle duo of the Zoe and the Lee Sin find a considerable advantage early before the Skarner comes online? Because once the Skarner hits level 6, he's going to start taking over the game with regards to how powerful his ultimate is. And
bot side's a very easy lane for him to gank. You take the Chain of Corruptions, on top of that with the Impale, and suddenly you got a very, very dead 4. But we're loading through onto Summoner's Rift for game at number 3 of the day.
Until minions spawn.
I think Vipers, they just want to find skirmish. Make use of this Aurelia in the mid lane. Make use of the Braum passive. The Skarner ult to cut someone out the fight. For Atlando, get strength in this mid-jungle combo. Then you can lean bot lane. You have the GP ult to help with that. You can dive them potentially under the tower or just blow them up with a Zoe burst. And then chain picks. Vision control is going to be super important for Atlando because they want to find picks onto Vipers without engaging into a full team fight.
Alrighty then. Defensive setup again. We don't actually see an invade, even with the fact they've got that Braum fresh hook. Could be fairly dangerous here, so to play safe around that. Atlando starting up on that blue side with the Lee Sin, wants to get onto that Gromp as quick as possible. Hidden is mirrored on the same side of the map. He's starting red side.
Hidden happy just to farm away on this Skarner. Obviously has the shrines to help him out. A little bit of a faster clear.
Outside of that, we're seeing already Jacob early on the Zoe. Should be able to get a pretty decent push. Paulson obviously pretty easy access kind of farming those waves with just your Q, but obviously it doesn't have any AoE damage you can really use as Jacob can just paddle star. Doesn't miss the minion though, luckily.
And I think it's sort of, as soon as level 3 is enabled for this Lee Sin, it's trying to find some control around mid lane. You have to be really cautious. So if you overcommit to try and kill the Aurelia, there's a very real chance of a counter gank. And Jacob
2 battle stars in a row, buddy.
Yeah, he's thinking too hard.
Just aim your mouse at the Aurelia.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's just click the head lead.
Seen Lee Sin going for a pretty healthy clear. And actually, it's a little bit different coming up from Hidden. So he went straight from his red buff to his blue and then is clearing back through. And I think big reason for that is he doesn't want to be on the same side as Lee Sin, and he wants to secure his buffs as soon as possible to defend them. You've just seen an on the way ping and a question mark from Lee Sin. So Jolbu knew that Hidden started on the top side.
Picking up that Ignite as well, just burning onto Paulson, gets the Electrocute proc off as well.
So he knew that Hidden started on the top side. So his plan was he had priority bot lane, he could come and he could contest, and he could fight over the blue. But Hidden's path to go from buff to buff and then clear upwards means that despite him starting topside, there is nothing for Jolbu to take. So he's gotten away pretty well in this early game. Jolbu will react by going topside and taking this skull first. He knows that Hidden must be on this side. They used the Scry implant to alert them to this. So it's not like the Lee Sin will be unable to cut some elements of Skarner's early clear out by taking away both skulls in this situation, but he hasn't been able to deny any of the camps in his jungle.
Andreas getting pushed in early here, but he should actually pull ahead in the CS department. Atlando has missed a little bit. He got pushed up a little bit earlier on in the game. You can see bot side very, very heavily in favor here of the Atlando team.
Hidden, recalled, full clear, got the boots, now has access to the Predator. Oh, actually, big all-in coming in.
Atlando doing fair damage here, getting obviously those brittled auto attacks off, but with the Grasp Undying, with the Corrupting Potion, with the oranges, Andreas is pretty...
Yeah, Andreas' Grasp, so he's winning out. He's getting the Grasp procs.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's what he's playing for. Has got himself that teleport available. Curious to see how much gold he's sitting on, though, as Paulson. Can I get some help here? Getting kind of poked out. Jacob's been able to pick up some really, really good summoner spells with the Spell Thief, and that's resulted in actually some very favorable trades for him currently.
That is always the most annoying thing about Zoe, when she just randomly picks up a redemption on the second wave, and all the trading you've done is just negated. Ocean Dragon's going to be the first on the cards. Right now, no jungler's putting too much attention towards them. Lundov's going some really heavy trades here.
Yeah, does this get turned around there? Andreas with the Grasp gets the heal off, gets that bonus damage off as well. He's picked himself up a Cull and a Sapphire Crystal on this base. Wants to get some scaling going, wants to get some additional gold available to him.
That's a big thing, hitting those item power spikes on the Gangplank. So far, pretty slow early game. This favors Vipers. Jolbu, we said we wanted the Lee Sin to find an advantage in the early levels. We wanted him to challenge Hidden in the jungle on this Skarner before he got further ahead in terms of gold. Not gold, sorry, in terms of levels, and managed to get access to that ultimate. Right now, he's level 4. He's feeling pretty confident. It looks like he might potentially... I think he's just contesting the shrine. I don't think he can really start the dragon up. And right now, his bot lane's on reset. So he has cleanse. They know that Hidden's been forced away, so they're just going to take the dragon for free. Jolbu, it's not the advantage I necessarily wanted in terms of gold, in terms of ganking, but it's something to pick this up, and I think you'll take it.
It's going to be relatively uncontested. The base timing just was not there for the Vipers. Atlando going to be able to pick that up nice and easy. The North actually can use the Call of the Forge God here. He's going to land himself a knock-up. Orange is still available to Andreas. He's holding it for the moment. The Ignite is already being used. Cannon Barrage and the Flash. The North not able to fully connect for the kill there. And Andreas using his summoner spells to get out. He's going to make his way out nice and safe.
Oh, Hidden could look for this, but I don't think he expected him to stay there on that HP. Hidden actually potentially going to do some kind of jungle of his own, but I think he's actually looking now for Jacob. Oh no.
Got the Predator. That's going to be the stun. That will be the end of days for Jacob. He flashes forward. The Vanguard's Edge connects. Jumps out with a paddle star, but he gets picked up. First blood to Paulson.
Critically, there was no ultimate available for the Skarner. It wasn't even needed. The Zoe goes down, being both summoners. Great play from Hidden, and we said we wanted to see aggression from the Lee Sin. This is the Skarner outmatching. Right now, the swap has come through from Atlando. Obviously with the dragon down. Going to try and contest that blue, but it goes down. And now, the tempo advantage is going to be in favor of Atlando on the top side of the map. Their bot lane is there first. They'll be able to set up control and start to pressure this tower. But in response, Vipers, looks like they may well match here, but they're going to be much slower to get up to that side of the map. So right now, Jolbu's just clearing through his jungle, trying to get close to that level 6. The vision has already been set up to a degree inside the river. They have a control ward in the Tri-Brush on the top side and the Scuttle. They're looking towards that Herald, which is spawning in just a couple of seconds. And right now, 3 members of Vipers are in the base. And we saw earlier the dragon went down purely due to reset timings. This is a similar thing happening here where the coordination just isn't quite there. And it may cost an objective, but Vipers, they're coming in to contest.
The North does not have the Orn Horn available, though, so he's not going to commit quite yet. Jacob with that cleanse. Pretty safe from Hidden and Paulson for the moment. And Vipers, they were caught off but on that rotation, but looks like they were able to not get too punished there. I think their game plan was they were going to push and try and contest the tower, but they saw Gangplank show up and they went, oh, Cannon Barrage and Barrels makes it really hard to out-push here. So they peel away, they reset, and this time now they're the ones who actually get the advantage on this Rift Herald, and they're going to pick it up. Teleport's coming down in that bot lane as well. Make sure they pick that one up.
Good play coming out from Vipers. They're slow to get there. They lost in terms of tempo. But the thing is, Atlando invested so much time trying to get through the Herald that when Vipers forced them off, they really just gave up so much.
The question for me is, where does Hidden want to use this? Where's he going to pop the Herald down?
Top lane is a de facto approach because you have your bot lane there already. But I could see him going mid. He has flash and the ultimate available. Jacob on the Zoe has no flash. It's such an easy kill if he wants it. And then you instantly follow up with a Herald. A ton of gold given to Aurelia. Makes things so difficult for the Zoe. And there's definitely an avenue in this game where a 1-3-1 comes out. The matchup of the Aurelia into the Gangplank is favorable for the Aurelia, especially if she's ahead. But even though there isn't necessarily a TP for the Aurelia, if they put her in the side lane against the Gangplank, it'll make things so difficult.
Paulson just clearing out this vision, getting control around that dragon pit. Sorry. The Aurelia got a 10 CS lead, got that Tiamat, so the shove potential is now there for the side of the Vipers mid. As Jolbu was actually spotted out on a ward, so he's going to want to try and make this play happen to Denvoxney. No, Denvoxney is a very immobile lady carry, but with Flash, with Heal, with the knowledge that Jolbu is there, he is not letting this go.
The Vipers playing very respectfully. They must send something up. Hidden. They have to clear away some of the enemy jungle. Managing to keep up and farm against Lee Sin. They could look for a dive here very easily.
Jacob's a little low on mana. Should have enough for a full combo, but
I think instead they're looking towards bot lane. They're moving the attention there.
You got the call of the Forge God, Dundorf. Want to make sure he has enough mana. They decide to base away, back away, don't want to deal with it.
I think maybe the Cannon Barrage to make things difficult, I guess. I mean, personally, I think I would have just gone for it, but the wave did get cleared out pretty quickly. All in all, game going quite slowly, which I gotta say favors Vipers. The Skarner's in a comfortable position to come online. These item thresholds are gonna come through. Yes, Atlando always have this really threatening pick potential, but if they don't have the vision control, it's not really gonna come to fruition. Blade of the Ruin King finished for the Varus. A pretty big spike.
That's a massive spike. You can see Paulson now. Basis gets himself the Phage, so he's a little bit further behind the Drake spawning up. And the rotation this time, Vipers actually are rotating at the same time as Atlando though, so they are going to be on the map at the same point. And now, like you're talking about, a Blade of the Ruin King, that's going to be so big. Paulson with the Tiamat should be able to clear out this wave nice and easy. Bubble will make it a little bit harder for him though.
Vision control was already round the dragon for Vipers, so Atlando have come and tried to contest it. The Vipers have taken that time just to push the wave in the bot side, and now they're looking over towards us. They're going to start the objective up.
I actually kind of would have liked to have seen the Herald go out, just so you have something threatening a tower on that bot side, but I guess the push was already enough and Four's able to deal with it.
I think as well as that, Atlando do not want to take a fight here. They need vision control setup. They need to look for a pick before the play. You see, it's going to be Infernal Dragon's Soul.
Are we going to get a solo? That's the question. With 0 for 2 so far.
At the pace of this game, it seems like, I mean, Vipers are slowly accruing a lead. There's definitely threat things could explode, but it's just been quite slow paced. Yolbu hasn't been able to find the sort of impact we wanted on his Lee Sin in the early game. And as for now, the only death being Jacob in the mid lane. Hidden now. They've managed to get priority. Paulson has moved down and they're throwing the Rift Child. This is a 4-man attack on the bot lane. There's nothing really that can be done in response to this. All the gold going to be taken in terms of plates by Vipers. And if you look on the other side of the map, Jolbu, I mean, I think he's potentially waiting mid for Paulson to return.
He's going to get a red buff, I guess.
Yeah, not
actually,
much
maybe he's not.
Oh, not even going to get that. And it's just not having the awareness that Vipers were looking to lean bot. It's losing the priority mid and then having no response. I understand you can't hit Vipers head on when their skirmishing power is so potent, but like you have to have an alternative to trade with. If you just give up your bot tower and you're like, okay, I nearly got a red buff,
Turret plating.
it's not much of a consolation.
In fact, I think Lundorf got it.
No, Lundorf doesn't have it. That's the
Oh,
Sunfire.
send it. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe he went back and got it. He got his red. He did. He got his red buff. Wow. You win, Jolbu.
Yeah, he did pick it up as the tower fell. He went back, but Andreas just going to try and clear out this wave here for the moment in this top side. He's stacking up that coal. 17 gold from it finish. 17 minions, sorry, from it finishing up. And like I said, yeah, just taking it a little bit slow, a bit more chill here in this game.
And this Zoe has never really been able to threaten the Aurelia. It's a pretty favorable matchup. If you aren't able to just consistently apply pressure and look to kill the Aurelia, she will just clear through the wave once the Tiamat's available. The all-in pressure favors her. And right now, Viper's got to feel pretty comfortable. Oh, fight potentially coming in.
Well, they found a pick onto Braum for the moment. D-bot bully. And he uses ultimate to try and get a knock-up. Fred slowed down. The cannon barrage will do a bit of work there, but not really a lot. The arrow goes wide, and it was an attempt by Atlantis, but they didn't really use anything. That's the key thing there.
I mean, they used the cannon barrage, which is pretty major. It was good timing because Hidden and Pulson want to reset, but in terms of effectiveness, it just didn't really come through. They needed a bit more. They needed Fred in position to punish the Braum. Right now, Fred is looking. Sleep comes in.
Flashing forward. That's going to be the hook. The flash goes out as well. Hidden able to make his way away. Does not have that Predator available quite yet.
This is more like it. This is Atlando finding avenues when Vipers are split and looking to challenge them on that. They've burned the flash away from Hidden. Not only does that mean he's a more vulnerable target, it also means he can't be as aggressive with getting onto carries. Now they're starting up the Herald. Team fight and skirmishing, this is where Vipers really excel. So I'm not sure Atlando can contest this one.
And no cannon barrage as well. That's the
No
key
cannon
thing.
barrage. Zoe and Base end up giving this one over free. And it's just, you know, Vipers take a Herald, Atlando take a Flash. It's just, Vipers are getting way bigger advantages in these situations.
Decide not to push more for the tower. They can see at the center and Lee Sin are about.
That suggests to me that they want in the back, get their item spikes and head mid. I think taking down the mid tower is a pretty important one in terms of control on the map. Obviously mid being the center of the map just amplifies how important it is in terms of being able to shove in and rotate to either side. So I expect to see Hidden clear, well he's clearing his bot side jungle now, but then head towards mid, use that Herald. Potentially though you can save it until the next dragon is due to spawn, and then you can use it to trade pressure. So you put the Herald down mid, the enemy team has to react, you can then take the dragon. Alternatively, you just throw it down now, and it gives you the control to ensure you get that dragon for free.
Oh, my God. Edge gets thrown down. They can use the call of the forward squad. The Predator's still available. That's going to be one for Demboxney already. 2 kills have been picked up for the Vipers. They are just going to send them packing, summoning up the Herald as well. Demboxney and the Bully going to make sure this gets defended, and they might just try and take this tower here. Hidden. Stepping forward. They get a lot of damage onto that tower, but they're not going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, a little bit of poor timing because the wave died. I think they should have waited for the next wave before going.
Oh, flashing forward. Polson almost gets caught out. Glacial Fisher knocks up 2 with the cannon barrage. Will dissuade any further aggression here from Vipers, but they have forced out a lot there. They should be able to pick up this first Infernal.
Yeah, so Vipers, great play, great engage. They get the dragon, they get damage on the tower, but a little bit better timing, and they could have picked up the entire mid tower.
Oh, they're coming in. Jolbu needs to be careful. He's got to flash away. Not going to be able to pick up the Drake, and now the fight looks to ensue. Jolbu and Bully go golden for the moment. That's going to be one onto the gangplank already, but Polson able to turn it around, trying to jump forward. 4, stunned up by the concussive blows, and Demboxney finds his second. In comes Lundorf looking for Jacob, but not going to connect the knock-up. Demboxney takes a nap and finishes off his crab.
You just cannot skirmish against this team. As soon as the CC starts coming in, it's so easy for Pulson and Demboxney to start stacking up the Braum passive and to easily cut down anyone on Atlando. There are no tanks on this team who can soak the damage. Oh, Pulson might be in trouble here. No mana.
Does get a kick to the face. He doesn't really have much damage. He hasn't based since that last fight. He's going to try and hide in the minion wave. Kick goes wide by Jolbu. That's going to be the end of that.
Viper's definitely in control of this game. That mid tower still stands with the 2 dragons to 1 with just under 3,000 gold lead. And Thor, he's in a really rough position. He's now just wanting to farm up the side lane because not only is he down in gold, it's just the spikes of the Varus are so strong. 1-2 items for Varus are the big moments when he just starts to pump out so much damage in the team fights and have this real potential to carry.
You can see Andreas is being a problem here, though. Every time they want to push at this mid wave, he just turns up, barrels the wave, nice and simple. So Andreas is going to still be offering a decent amount of wave clickers. You look at the lights of the center, and you obviously have the Q and stuff, but you're very slow auto-attacking, so you're going to be relatively slow on that clear, as you can see currently on your screen being demonstrated lovely by 4 here.
Big concern for me, though, is you see where Jacob's located in the top lane. He's in a side lane against the Irelia, which is sort of de facto where he has to be because they need to put the bot lane mid to hold it against the enemy 2v2, yes, against the enemy 2-man bot lane. The concern is here in a long lane against the Irelia, it's really difficult to play because the Irelia can just chase you down. If you miss your Sleepy Trouble bubble, you can get engaged on so easily. Right now, Thor, flash is available and into the Lantern.
Back into the Lantern.
So they will get him away, but doesn't even have any pressure. Jacob's rotated down to cover, which means they won't get the mid tower here, but Paulson has an opportunity to shove up in the top lane.
It was a good attempt there, though. Predator has been used. You have to wait for that to come back up. Paulson pushes the wave in, goes to reset, wants to try and finish up that Titanic, or maybe Sterix. I assume it's Sterix at this point, probably.
Yeah, I don't think you need a Titanic right now, but I mean, it depends. It depends what he's going for. I think if you wanted a team fight, you definitely want the Sterix. If you want it in a side lane, then the Titanic could be pretty good for like cutting through waves, but it's very likely to be the Sterix. I think Titanic would be a bit of a bait buy. Ginsu is going to be the next time for Voxney. When that finishes, that's going to be a huge spike for him. Right now, it's sort of slowed down a bit. This 1v1 coming out for Vipers, it favors them massively. You can see Jacob keeps moving down. He doesn't want to push up in that top lane at any point. He simply clears the wave out, rotates mid, clears the wave out, rotates mid, and it means Paulson permanently has priority in this lane and can move if he wants to. So the map definitely in favor of Vipers. Not too much in the cards right now. Dragons are well away from spawning. Baron not really liable to be taken now, especially when the Scuttle is in favor of Atlando. And the problem for me here is that Atlando, I mean, I understand they're just farming up, which they're kind of forcing this position right now because of the lane assignments, but they need to get some element of control or at least contest it so they can look for picks. Until they start getting picks, they're not going to find any success or avenues back in this game unless Vipers completely throw by, say, overcommitting to the Baron or taking a very bad fight.
Oh, Gwyn's Rage Blade finished off in the Den Voxney. He wants to pick up his Hurricane as his next item for the Mana Mune, and that's it. Components of a Duff Blade, a Ghost Blade. Paulson tries to go in, throws out the Vanguard's Edge, but does miss it. Jacob able to flash away in time. So that is now the flash down on the Zoe, and Zoe, very pseudo mobility already as a character. That is now going to be even less so as you're going to be down that flash.
Yeah, and I think we said Zoe did not want to push up in this top lane already. I think it's just going to be amplified even more so. Dragon spawning up soon, and Vipers, they're happy just to keep chaining these. There's no reason they need to necessarily rush in to try and force advantages. They scale perfectly well. Ornn items are now able to start coming in at level 13. Lundorf's moving over. He's going to either upgrade the Triforce or the Blade of the Rune King. But they're in a really comfortable position. They're going to take this dragon. Jolbu might try to contest this with a steal, but the fight, I favor Vipers in this one massively.
They actually do peel away a little bit back into the fog of war, back into the darkness. But it's going to do a little bit of help there and just get some poke off for the moment. Bubble being fished out here as the Drake has not been de-aggroed. And Jolbu He's continuing to go on it. That Vanguard's Edge not available to Paulson. He's pushing the wave out, forcing members away. He's actually going to get caught out. Throws out the stun. Doesn't find himself a single mark as he has to flash away. The Chain of Corruption comes in. Denvoxney is going to go low. Paulson, he is taken out. No, he's actually still alive in the fight for the moment. Denvoxney, though, he's continuing to fire away. The stun does connect, and that's going to be GP funding himself one. Denvoxney has to flash away. Look at all those summoner spells on the floor, and Jacob still with a plethora of health to work with. Uses that Blade of the Ruin King. Uses that Paddle Star, and now you can see that Andreas is just popping off on the side lanes on the gangplank to double kill for him. Lundorf has to just try and steering charge away, but they are running him down. The Ignite is burning. Lundorf low HP, but not low enough.
Honestly, Atlando tried to go for a pick on a Paulson, and Paulson just walked into them. I think he wasn't looking at his screen because he literally walked into 3 members of Atlando. He did survive for a long time, but lost so much HP. He was just never relevant in that fight. And now Atlando should be able to take this dragon.
Throw out the slow. The bubble's going to connect. Instant into the drowsy.
He stole it.
He's able to steal it away with the Bellows Breath. Jacob is going to try and do something to shut him down. This will just be the end of Lundorf here. So he's running through the Zoe. He's actually pretty tanky. Jacob gets himself a kill. And stealing away that dragon means the Vipers are...
He switched to Smite with the spellbook. And he stole it away. The high IQ play.
That's actually pretty sick.
I mean, they should have been aware. He had the Smite available. They could have held it for longer. They could have looked to challenge the Ornn. But either way, they secure the 3rd dragon for Vipers. 1 away from the Soul, despite the awful fight. Despite Paulson just walking into the enemy team, they still managed to hold their own. Denvoxney was massive in that team fight. He was just putting down so much DPS, and then Lundorf comes out clutch in the end to secure the dragon. Right now, though, looking across the board, Andreas, as we said, this gangplank is strong. 3 very expensive but very powerful items in his inventory.
Alrighty, let's see how these next few stages are going to play out here. Vipers grouping us 3 members here in this middle side of the map. The 1-3-1 being set up for them. They're 1 Drake away from that Infernal Soul. Cadence on that was very weird. They're 1 away from that Infernal Soul.
Soul.
You a fan of soul music?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Can you name me a soul song? He's breaking out. He's breaking out. That's going to be a Dawning Shadow for a shutdown of the Paulson. I got you there, didn't I? You got baited.
I mean, I hear soul music. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. But I'm not an active listener. I don't have a soul playlist at home. My dad does, though. He listens to Radio 6, Craig Charles Funk and Soul. Like, all the time.
That's such a dad radio, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, we did see, Andreas taken down. Big shutdown going over to Paulson, who's also had his Triforce upgraded. So some extra stats coming in from that. They changed it a little bit ago. So at level 12, you get your upgrades.
Yeah.
At 13, you can hand out your first, 14 seconds, so on. And when I see situations like this, where, Lundorf was level 14 and only given out 1 upgrade, I'm like, does he realize? Is he keeping track? Or is he just not,
Maybe he's
not met up with
the ideal item.
I mean, with Denvoxney, it's the Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, true, actually, yeah.
And with Bebop Bully, it's the Locket, because you don't really build anything else as a support. It's only Redemption and Locket, the only support items.
Paulson looking for Fred here, does get spotted out by that ward. Again, maybe a little slow to react to that, but able to clear out the ward.
If you're unfamiliar, Fred, formerly annoying YouTuber, now a League of Legends player.
You think he's an annoying, do you know him?
Never. I mean, whatever, you don't get the joke.
No.
Moving on.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Why do you keep looking at me? Why do you keep looking at me? You don't get it, so moving on. Anyway.
It's just she looked very upset with me.
Actually,
oh my lord! What an insect! Denvoxney's going to hold his life for the moment, but that's going to be the shutdown. Picked up by 4. Jacob's running in. That's going to be the end of B. And a double kill for 4.
That was a lot of gold as well. 900 shutdown from Demvoxne. Jolbu, we said the Lee Sin hadn't found the impact we wanted. That kick was more than we asked for, though.
That was
huge
monstrous.
Play. Using all the mobility available to him to take that, and now they're looking to get onto this Baron. Hidden still available, still alive with the smite. His flash coming up very soon.
Lundorf does have that Call of the Forge God. They are running low, and there is an Aurelia with full health and the ability to go in. Knock-up lands onto multiple members. The healing is coming down. 4K onto the Baron for the moment. Lundorf able to dodge away. Gets caught out by the Drowsy. They're looking to turn. Vanguard's Edge connects onto 3. Hidden just racing cars into the back line, trying to get himself the ideal impale off. The stun goes a little bit wide. They're buying time, though. Lundorf searing charges away. Baron is dissuaded. And the Vipers do not lose a single member.
But they've lost a lot of HP. Dragon is less than a minute away. The control is going to go in favor of Vipers. Fred has 1 ward available. He needs to reset here, but he's holding out because he doesn't want to give up control. Atlando don't get the Baron, but Vipers may have not only dissuaded that, but earned this Dragon themselves. Look, it's coming up soon. No one is in position to contest this. Fred has 1 ward, no wards available now.
Andreas has teleport, but it's already going low. This is taken nice and simple. The soul, the first soul of the Nordic champions has been picked up. Golbu is going to get caught out by the Infernal Chains, actually lands himself a kick, looks to follow up. Poulsen goes in for the stun. The Cannon Barrage is very, very wide. And a flash by Bebop means he is going to be able to get away nice and safe. And the turret will be at least the consolation prize here for Atlando in this mid lane. It's still pretty healthy though, so.
Oh, a lot of damage on those barrels, but yeah, it's pretty healthy. They are going to be able to take this down. The resets coming in from Vipers. The goal difference is slight. We said this game would be close, but the Soul and the 2,000 gold go in favor of Vipers. Their skirmish is still so powerful, but I feel like at this point, Varus is passing his big item spikes. Aurelia is as well. It's not like they get actively weaker, but compared to something like a Gangplank, which scales so well, a Senna, which will keep getting those souls, those carries are going to become more relevant, but there's still so much team fighting power in Viper's composition. Atlando, again, you need to be looking for those picks. They found that there. They found a great Lee Sin engage, and it worked for them, but they need more of that. They need consistency. And up against the Infernal Soul, if they mess it up, they will certainly lose a team fight.
Remember how quick Vipers will be able to take down this Baron as well with that Rage Blade, the Blade the Rune King on Demvoxne. He's got so much damage to work with. Decided to pick up the Phantom Dancer instead of the Hurricane, which is understandable.
Better.
The wave play is nice, but
it's against the picks. He has Phantom Dancer for the shield. He has the QSS for any CC. It puts him in a really safe position, and notably, no one has picked up a QSS on the side of Atlando, so Hidden's still getting full effectiveness from that ultimate, the Impale. Right now, Atlando still have control of the Baron area, and it's so hard to contest this team when they have control. We said, if they have vision, they have the pick potential, but the problem is the reason Vipers were giving it up is because they had this side lane pressure. Poulsen wasn't with them, but pushing up the side lane, Jacob now needs to answer in the top lane, and it means Vipers can once again play aggressive and push up, clearing out all this vision. And with these walls being cut down because of the Infernal Soul, it's so much easier for Vipers to push into Atlando's jungle. There's so many more avenues, so many more routes, much less risk of being caught in a choke point.
well, Den's just going to push this wave out as well. They've powered the Infernal Soul, really just making them that much stronger. And now they've got control. Going to pick up this shrine. There's one more ward inside that pit to clear out that blue trinket. They're looking nice and strong here. You can see Andreas, though, has got 70% crit on the Gangplank. You saw the Vanguard's Edge did get thrown out there as Hidden's actually just barreling forward, instantly finds himself a pick. Jolbu's going to have to kick him away. He's low HP, and the Cannon Barrage can do a lot of damage there. Dawning Shadow to back him up. I've got a Honey Fruit to heal themselves up for the moment, though. And
just the Cannon Barrage and the ult from Senna getting Demvoxne so low on HP, and that's the threat here.
I do think he got a kick from Hidden. I think Hidden got kicked into him as well.
Well, that makes more sense. But even so, you know, low HP. Lando managing to fight back, showing some of the scaling elements between their Senna and their Gangplank to dissuade the opposite sides. They now have priority. Resets were forced from Vipers. But it looks like instead of going for something like the Baron or going for aggressive vision, they're going to get their own reset off. They're going to play for timings, for tempo. So now they've gone back to base. Vipers have to catch the waves and push out. So Atlando giving themselves some breathing room, some time. They're feeling confident on the back of things like their GP, their Senna into the later stages of the game. Right now, my big concern is, though, this Ornn, pretty monstrous, giving items out to all the teammates, and so tanky himself.
I mean, look at the Aurelia as well. You've got the GA, you've got the upgraded Triforce, you've got the Sterix on top of that. It's going to be so hard to cut down Poulsen, who's almost level 18 as well. You now look at also, you were talking about it, the power of that Phantom Dancer combined with the QSS. Phantom Dancer will be coming back off cooldown fairly soon as well. It's going to be hard if you're Atlando to be able to find these picks onto these crucial members of the Vipers.
Vipers just going to shove mid lane up and then consolidate their vision around the Baron area. It's still very favorable for them to have this layout, this 1-3-1. As long as Poulsen's in the side lane, pulling Jacob over there, they're in a good position. But right now, they're going for a reset. They need more wards. They need more item breakpoints. Merc Scimitar for Demvoxne, a little bit more lifesteal, and also the movement speed if needed. Does mean Atlando, with no opposition right now in the mid lane, can shove up and gain some vision for themselves. The Vipers back on the map quickly will be able to deny them from taking too much. There's a couple of wards in the vicinity, one there in the brush, but I think now the new objective on the table is that Elder Dragon. Even more formidable than the Baron, it's almost an auto win for team fights. I feel like it is the stronger buff by all means.
The gift of the Elder is incredibly strong. Like execute you get, you know they're going to want to fight for it.
And the engage from Vipers as well means they decide, they dictate the pace. If they get the Elder and Atlando get the Baron, Vipers will just engage and take the fight.
Ooh. Cheeky ward actually just outside the pit does time out, so
Atlando that now, but they're having to split the vision between top side and boss side.
Hidden actually looks to try and flash away. In comes the Ornn Horn, the Dawning Shadow as well. Ford and Fred, both have gone golden. Look at the damage though, but Fred's able to poke out for the moment. Demvoxne cleanses and jumps away to safety, but the health bars on the side of Vipers are running so low. Jacob's already found himself one. Lundorf being run down the barrels, doing so much work to him. Steering charge, exhausted. Zhonya's, everything is thrown down, and Jacob is on a killing spree. Finds himself 3. Look on that bottom side, though, in the mid lane. Poulsen just trying to catch the wave, but Baron is on those cards.
This combo is so hard to play against. The GP ult comes down. Demvoxne then gets ulted by the Senna.
They're barreling to Elder.
They're heading over.
They've been spotted out. Poulsen's been seen.
It's pretty tanky. It takes quite a bit of time to cut through, but it's not going to do very much damage. The Poulsen's pretty healthy.
It's pulling multiple members off Baron. Baron should still go down, though. They had a strong enough leash, and Andreas is there with him. So Baron gets picked up here for the side of Atlando. And now, with Demvoxne and Poulsen, they want to try and go for it, but they can't. They cannot defend it in time. And now the Crab is going to get picked up, Andreas. Does take a lot of damage from that Elder, but... sorry, from the Infernal Burn. But
Atlando want to reset. Hidden's here now. They step away weird. They're going for full.
If they reset, they lose this.
Yeah, they went for heavy resets there. They have the movement speed from Baron coming in, but then Voxne wants to start this up straight away.
Lundorf's got smite, so is Hidden. That's double smite. It's going to be very hard to contest
Lundorf's higher level than both junglers as well, such a strong smite. Atlando need to win the team fight. They have the extra stats from Baron.
Here comes Hidden, so they're going to have at least one jungler here. They're feeling comfortable. Lundorf in the middle is just pushing this wave out. Still has that Call of the Forge god available. Jacob throws out the ultimate, trying to get that damage off. That's going to be the chain spreading out. The Horn has come down on the bottom side of the fight. This time, Demvoxne is untapped. The flank is massive by Poulsen. He is just cutting through members. 3 members fall, 4 members fall. That's the full ace. And Viper are just going to run it down the mid lane and close the game out.
Vipers find a great team fight. Atlando just walked into it. Great flank from the Ornn, great flank from the Aurelia, and Demvoxne went untouched. Not even a single tick of the GP ultimate connected. Now, this team, there's a little bit of a shaky bit there towards the Baron fight, but they're managing to take this entire game, get the first win of the Nordic Championship.
Even with the Baron, it just was not enough. And the Vipers are going to sink their fangs in at 37 minutes, close this game out, and beat Atlando.
definitely a slow-paced performance. Sorry, you could tell that Vipers knew that in the skirmishes and the team fight, they'd mostly come out ahead. There was the strength when Atlando got to the later stages. You could see the power of their scaling picks, the GP and the Senna. When they used that GP ult into the Senna ult, it was so difficult to play against because then Voxney just instantly got chunked so hard he had to leave the fight. But in that last one, they didn't have the Senna ult available. The GP ult wasn't placed in a good position to punish the Varus. And then the flank was just beautiful. You saw the Ornn come in with a call, the Forge God. And then Paulson came in on the Aurelia and just blew everything up. It wasn't an explosive game coming out from Vipers, but it was clear they knew their win condition, they played to it. And I feel like although Atlando definitely gave some life, they were never really able to execute the whole get control and look for picks with regards to their composition. The Zoe didn't really do much in terms of the mid lane matchup. It felt like the Lee Sin wasn't able to make momentum early. Yes, there was that great kick. Credit to Jilbu for that. But overall, just felt like their composition was harder to pull off.
Yeah.
And they had difficulty doing it.
Yeah, my questions are, how are they going to fare versus, some of our more aggressive teams here in the Nordic Championship? Yeah. Because that was a fantastic game, but they played fairly passively. And if they play that passively versus, someone like Singularity, you're just not going to have the time to actually find those conditions because it was a clean game from Den Voxney. It was a clean game from Poulsen. They just need to maybe be a little bit more aggressive. But then again, it was also the first game of the Cup. They're still kind of shaking the rust off from the Christmas break and, from the winter season. It's a learning curve because that game went much longer than maybe it could have, considering how much control they had over the Drakes.
I think my concern for them was that when I last saw them play, they seemed to lack coordination from losing the shot caller. They were definitely more coordinated in this game, slow. But they were definitely coordinated. They knew their win condition and they played to it. And you can dispute, you can argue, they were slow, but they played their win condition. At the end of the day, a win is a win. There was that only concern in team fight when the Voxday got punished pretty heavily. And that's the only avenue I'd say maybe a bit faster paced because the Varus isn't at his best at that point in the game. He was definitely more formidable earlier. And the gold lead did start to sort of peter out a bit more. It became less relevant, the 2,000 gold lead later in the game. So I think maybe the faster pace could have benefited. And as you said, if it was a better team, could have been rough. But at the end of the day, they got the win. I think they played around that comp well. And I think I agree with you. I think it'll be interesting to see how they fare against other teams in the league, particularly the stronger ones.
Yeah.
Like Singularity and Nordic, if they have their full roster lineup. It should be a good matchup.
Oh, that's one on the board for the Vipers. But we still have one more game to go here at the Nordic Championship. So go have a break. We'll be back in a minute.